Hi, this is Jonathan Tiersten from The Perfect House and Sleepaway Camp, and you are listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2014 and beyond. With me always is the amazing Brad, the spectacular James Hart, and I am your friendly neighborhood host, Ryan, and we are joined by three of them filmmakers this week. But if you're wondering what we do on Real Nerds Podcast, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. This week we had the pleasure of seeing The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Summer movies have officially started. And they'll officially end with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Brad.
Is that really what it is?
Yay. Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, it's like, I think it is. I think it's August 17th. Well, I guess it goes a little longer than that.
August 8th or something.
Huh.
Is it the week after Guardians?
I think it's the week before.
Can we count
No,
Guardians?
Guardians
Let's
is
count
the
Guardians.
first.
Fine, then the week after.
All right. Well, I'm just saying it's before. You don't have to get all bitchy about it. Someone uncorked Brad's underwear up his butt.
Ew.
Wow.
Oh.
Hey, just because you don't like that they have snouts on their mace doesn't mean you have to take it out on me, okay?
They ruined this movie.
I saw the trailer in IMAX 3D last night. It's pretty cool.
Well, not true IMAX 3D.
Not true IMAX 3D, no. I mean, I think it's like, 7 feet shorter than a true IMAX screen.
It's substantially shorter.
Is it really? I don't know.
No, it's
I think it's half the size of an IMAX screen.
it's something like that. But
Then why
your
are they
from,
able to say that it's an IMAX?
Because it's still running.
They projected it.
It's significantly shorter on the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
On the sides, it's fine.
That's Zach Eastman, by the way.
Yes. Sorry. I really wanted to do that.
You sound like the Green Goblin from the 1960s cartoon.
Yeah, and you know what? I really wanted to. I really wanted to try to capture that 60s era that everybody forgets.
Hey, here's a Spider-Man fun fact. You know the Green Goblin voice actor from the 60s was the same one who did it in the 1990s cartoon show.
Really?
Yeah, he was a Green Goblin for a lot of the cartoons until Spectacular Spider-Man, actually.
Oh, wow. I'll be damned.
Yeah, I forget his name.
I never really watched the Marvel one from the 90s, the Amazing Spider-Man one. Like, I know it was like Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Radioactive Spider-Man.
That was how I learned to like Spider-Man. Was that show?
Yeah.
And then James ruined it for me. Because I always liked the show because I really liked the guy who did the voice for Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's still the voice of Peter Parker in my head.
Yeah. And then James says, when you watch that show, Spider-Man never punches anybody, and all the villains defeat themselves.
Yep.
And I said, bullshit, James. So I put in the one where he fights the Green Goblin for the first time. Yep, the Green Goblin beats himself. Then the one after that, Mysterio beats himself. One after that, Kraven beats himself. That's why Spectacular Spider-Man, the cartoon, is so great, because it's
totally
real violent.
Yeah. But the stories, like the characters in that one are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really care about the people in that one.
Yeah, the only
Of course,
one...
I was also like 8, but...
Yeah. No.
It's fair.
When the Green Goblin had a gun that would teleport him to different worlds, yeah.
Yeah. When they went into, like, Madam Web, that whole thing, that was bad.
Yeah, it's still fun.
Yeah.
I still watch them.
Totally.
I hope they release them, as like one volume.
Yeah.
But they're still in...
Blu-ray, like on
Yeah.
a collection. Yeah.
Because they're still like the Ultimate Villain Showdown. So they're always broken
Still have
up
it on
in-
those individual Buena Vista DVD releases.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want the whole thing. It's time.
Yeah, it is. But nobody likes us. Anyways, we also talk about movies we've been watching, comic books you should be reading, box office numbers, stuff that's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. Mostly just Blu-ray. Fuck DVD. And,
Yeah.
what am I missing? News. Great. We're gonna have to talk about somebody dying this week.
Yeah.
Maybe got
We are.
Maybe got the wrong mushroom. That's a super. This is a super. Is it Super Mario or Super Mario?
Bad preview.
Oh,
in
man.
that movie, it always drove me crazy because, I think Princess would call him Mario, and then Luigi would call him Mario.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, fuck. Let's call him Mario. Anyways, there's a little cliffhanger for what we're going to talk about in news, guys. Yep, time to start the show.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we gonna do? Hey, James, welcome back. You weren't here last week.
Thank you. Yeah.
How was the Big Easy?
Exhausting.
Did you get fucked up every night?
Yep.
Nice.
Well, I just didn't sleep. Is that the same?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I got fucked up every night.
When me and Brandon were there, we went to, in the French Quarters, there's always these bars. All they do is pour slushy alcoholic drinks out.
Yeah.
And
Which
they
are
gave-
delicious because it's hot as balls down
yeah,
there.
and they gave you a free shot for it. And so I got like blue raspberry, gayest drink you can possibly get there.
Yeah.
And then they gave you a free shot. I didn't want the shot, but Brandon's like, I'll take the shot. I want the jet fuel was the name of the shot. And he shot it, and he went, and he fucking died on the street. I was luckily able to revive him, but,
Wow. I didn't know you'd saved someone's life.
I did.
From alcohol poisoning.
I did.
That's insane.
You
I'm-
truly are the amazing Ryan.
Thank you.
Cross.
It was funny, too, because when we were there, we were walking down the French Quarter, and I'm oblivious, I'm just keep on walking. Oh, the architecture here is so unique. It's from early 18th century, and you can see the detail. And Brandon said, "Oh, don't go any farther, dude. There's lots of black people down that way."
He did not.
He did. I was like-
Oh, my God.
And because the French Quarter is really brightly lit until you get to a certain area, then it gets really dark.
Yeah.
And he says, just come back to the light. So we started walking. This is a true story, by the way. So we started walking away, and out of the alley, this African-American gentleman started coming towards us. And Brandon started walking fast, like, oh my God, here it comes. And this black guy comes up to me and he goes, hey man, and he hits me on the shoulders like, have fun. And he just kept on walking. I told Brandon, you feel like an asshole yet? And he said, a little bit. I'm like,
Oh,
you
wow.
should.
I was at church like a week before this and told somebody, this weird old dude I've never run into before named Joe, and I told him I'm gonna go to New Orleans, and he was like, oh, be careful down there. And I said, oh yeah, why? And he goes, they support other cultures. That's all he said. He just said other culture. He didn't say sinful, evil, you'll find yourself in a gut. No, just other cultures.
Well, he didn't want you to kick a midget because then you grow a tail.
That is truth.
Yeah.
That is fact.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anybody?
though.
Do you have
I
a tail?
mean,
2001?
every single corner of every street, mini mart with lots of liquor. I went to the CVS. There was more liquor in the CVS than there were pharmaceuticals.
That's
It was
pretty-
ridiculous.
That's pretty much every street in LA. Every CVS pharmacy you go in there's nothing but big tall bottles of Pinnacle vodka there.
Well, couldn't you make the argument that alcohol is a pharmaceutical? I mean, it can help dull the pain. The pain of rejection in Los Angeles.
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, drop my phone. I
That's
should break one more.
Yeah.
Cool. So James, you were on vacation. What should we do first? Oh fuck, he's going to talk about someone who died.
No, we've got these people here. I feel like we should find out who they are.
Do you
And
mind if
why
I
they're
introduce them? Since I
No.
brought
No,
them
I don't
here?
mind at all.
Sorry, I just
No,
want to
that's
take the lead on
where
this.
we're going.
Okay, there you go.
It's called a
about a month
segue,
ago when I
Zach.
came back into Denver. Thanks.
Come
About a month ago when I came back to Denver, a filmmaker friend of mine reached out to me. He said that he wanted to have me come out and take a look at this project that he's working on. It's called 2 Years Since Friday. It's a short film. It's really kind of spoke out to me, and I wanted to bring out the director for Real Nerds. It's Tony Gross.
Cool.
How's it going?
Nice to meet you,
Yes.
Tony.
I kept on expecting him to say 2 years a slave. I don't know why.
Jesus.
It's a much shorter and less
Yeah.
depressing movie.
When he says "I will survive," it's a little bit meh.
Yeah. It's yeah, it was bad, but it wasn't bad for that long.
It's Brevard Smith as
Sorry, no, really, talk about why you're here, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just here because Zach, you just brought me onto this really super cool podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for judging us so quickly.
Oh yeah. No, I've listened to this before, dude. It's
Oh,
good.
really?
Oh yeah.
Man, there he is. That's the guy. He's the
Yeah.
one who's been listening.
That's
yes.
me. No, but yeah, no, it's just me and Zach. We're pretty close. We're almost completely done pre-production. All we need is just funding. And so we have a Kickstarter page up right now that you can fund or whatever. And the link is on the Facebook page of either me, Zach, or the official 2 Years Since Friday Facebook page. I feel like such a jerk. I'm just like, hey, I'm walking in your house, I'm plugging stuff. Like it's what we
do here. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Right? Is that how you felt about me for the past year?
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
that and Zach keeps on judging me.
Oh God,
Such a dick.
what do you mean?
that's what this house
In
is
everything.
In everything?
Everything.
No, me and Zach have this funny fake like rivalry.
for. Whoa,
It's
it's
like,
fake.
like Jack Benny and Fred Allen back in the day, like
I
back
can
in
see
the
it,
40s.
yeah.
For all you 80-year-old people listening,
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Grannies down there.
all the
Whoa,
shit
whoa.
ton- they still think
Wait till the
Jer-
real nerds talk about horse dicks.
they all still think.
Hey,
I
I
don't
think
still
that's the
think
first
that
time we've
Dino's
talked
still
about
alive.
horse dick this year.
It is.
Man, yeah.
Oh God.
James's mother calls me crass because I talk about horse dong.
Yeah. All I do is swear on this
And yet
show.
she's never said one thing to me out of the horrible things that have come out of my mouth.
I don't let her listen to your episodes.
I keep on trying to think of
Too
other
hot-
ways to
too
say
hot
horse
for
dick, but I can't think of anything.
I tell her
else.
I'm not on that one.
I haven't talked about Donkey Ball Clum yet. Whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa, yeah.
There we go. But no, Tony's film, I highly encourage you to check it out. It's a script that really spoke out to me. We're in the fundraising process right now. We're hoping to start shooting near the end of June. So if anybody out there wants to kick in about $5-10, please, visit the site. We'll be updating with videos and funny little things to help promote this campaign as much as possible.
Tony, if I give you $10, what the fuck are you going to give me?
Dude, we got prizes.
Yeah?
We got, like- yeah, dude, prizes.
He says that ambiguously.
Tell me
It's
about
like,
your
it's like
prices.
$10, like adhesive medical strips.
Nice. You're going to
Yeah.
take me to Subway?
Yeah.
All right. Do I have to get the Subway sub of the month, or can I get
It's
whatever
gotta
I
be sub of
want?
the month, dude. I mean, it's 25, you get like the
Yeah,
full
he's still
order.
got to
Oh,
get
gotcha.
some
Yeah,
funding out of this.
Gotcha.
Like,
Gotcha.
if you just get an Italian BMT, that might take the whole $10.
Yeah, that's
I get double
that's a
meat when I
quality
go.
item, James.
Yeah,
James gets double meat
I get double
wherever he
meat.
goes.
I get oil and vinegar. They upcharge for that shit.
James, you're not. No, whatever, forget it.
Well, they always charge me for it.
You think they just give you the double meat for free?
Well, why? Because I'm a fat kid.
No.
I don't understand. What's
Anyway,
going on.
I've got another guest here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, he's just been sitting here like listening.
Yes.
I can introduce him. I can
Okay.
introduce
Dude,
him.
Yeah.
Tony,
Alright.
introduce
Tony,
him.
ask him if he likes the double meat.
I'll offer you double meat after this questionnaire.
Oh fuck.
Anyways,
leave
introduction.
it alone.
This is Andrew Olis, who's also a Denver filmmaker. Very accomplished filmmaker. Submitting his stuff around, starting to do like festival stuff. But yeah, take it away. Pump some stuff.
Well, hey there. I'm Andrew Olaf. I don't know what Tony was talking about, that accomplished thing, but I guess if you know anything of mine, it'd be Detective Meredith Hitler, SPI, which may or may not be premiering at Denver Comic-Con.
Nice.
When that is.
Are you part of the Real Heroes of
Uh,
filmmaking?
No.
No?
That sounds cool, though. What is that?
You submit films by yesterday. And
Oh, great, great. let me just jot that down real quick.
Shit, Twombly's not qualified.
yeah. That they showcase in their festival. That is too late for you now, sir.
It's
but
too late,
hey, you know
sire.
what? It's okay. Just walk around Denver Comic Con with a TV strapped to you with your movie playing.
There you go. Self promotion.
Yep.
It always works.
Greatest idea ever.
Yeah. You're talking Denver Comic Con.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess. Well, other than that, then. I guess we had a pretty good success with our horror film from UCD for the Stanley Dean's Cup last weekend. Did pretty well, I think. It's called Velvet Voyeur. So we'll be submitting that around to a couple more, to Mile High Horror Fest and a couple others like that.
My High is badass.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
We love
enjoy
those
that.
people.
Yeah, I have. I know a couple of the filmmakers involved with that beyond like people that.
You know, Zach,
Tony
when you hold the
and
mic that far away and you keep on turning your head, no one can hear
Am I
what
gonna?
the fuck
am I
you're
gonna
saying.
get
Oh god, it got loud.
It was all planned to be.
Still can't hear you.
No, Velvet Voyeur just screened at the Stanley Film Festival. So everybody should be like looking out for it soon. I believe you guys have submitted it to other places. From what I've heard,
We will, yeah.
yeah. Just so you know, be on the lookout for it.
Cool.
Oh, welcome, gentlemen. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Always welcome to promote shit on our show.
Sweet.
But that's not why I'm here. I'm here for one specific reason, which will come later in the show.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for the review of The Amazing Spider-Man.
Stay tuned for when Zach derails everything.
Oh, man. Dude, the whole car right here, like, just me and Andrew were like, no, it was a pretty rad movie. Like, I liked it.
You're spoiling
it was
it.
cool as
Whoa,
shit.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
You're
whoa,
just
whoa!
like-
Don't talk about the review yet.
Oh,
You're,
shit.
you're just like
That's
the
all
trailers of that movie. You're spoiling everything.
That was a 5-second teaser.
This is a 5-second teaser. Do these guys like the movie? Stay tuned to the end of the show of Real Nerds Podcast.
Yeah,
Yes.
for Ryan to beat the shit out of Zach.
I've been preparing for it.
Never.
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 Never, ever, ever.
Get back together.
I'm going home.
Now we owe Taylor Swift like $500 for just doing that little
No,
bit.
you
Yeah,
can do
dude.
like 30 seconds before you owe anybody money.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. She's saluting
yeah.
the Hydra. Who cares?
That's how that's how music works. You can steal
Captain
30
America
seconds.
shout out.
Weird reference.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. We'll talk about it later. I love that.
So
movie.
if you are a fan of knowing what movie was the number one movie last week
I can tell
by
you.
dollar amounts, here it is.
This is the box office stats.
The number one movie last week was, I don't even remember. What the fuck came out last week?
It was The Other Woman. I did not
That's
expect
right.
this at all.
24 million
I think
Yeah.
was the other
I
woman.
can't do
Yeah.
a proper mic drop on this, but
Isn't it funny when Brooklyn
Please-
Decker
please stop
is-
trying to break
No,
our
wait, what's her
mics.
name? Kate Upton? What
Kate
the fuck?
Upton.
Kate Upton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they're all the same.
who
to me.
is
she's running?
Who is Kate Upton?
She's
a
a
model.
She's a model.
SI
A model? Who cares?
Swimsuit model. Dude, have you seen her breasts? That's why people care.
He's
Many
got a
people
point.
have breasts. You have breasts.
I do.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to compliment yours right away.
I'm going to beat
Now-
the shit out of you.
wow, we're taking
Guess who
it.
doesn't get to come on the show ever again? Are you guys still associated? This is your chance to be like, I don't
Yeah,
know
dude,
Zach
this is my
anymore.
one and final chance.
Yeah. Guess who doesn't love Zach?
Whatever,
Everyone.
fine. Everybody likes Zach sometimes.
So yeah,
But
actually,
yeah, The Other Woman,
I mean-
$24.7 million.
Okay.
Which is a lot of money, I guess.
what did Draft Day do? Me and Brad saw Draft Day last week.
Let me scroll down to 2.7,
Nice.
number 12.
So we were part of that, Brad. We were part of the 2.7.
I think you
million.
were the 7, yeah.
What was
Yeah.
number 2 then? Was it Cap 2? Or?
Cap 2, yeah.
Oh, it was a Cap
Yeah.
2. Okay.
Yep.
So that's still holding strong.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Dude, that movie's pretty
Amazing.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man, I want to buy some Blu-rays. I bet if I log on to digitalbits.com and select upcoming releases, I can buy them from Amazon.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
You
It's coming
can.
out, James.
You can. I better do that really quick.
You haven't done it yet?
No, I have.
Okay, I was going to say.
Veronica Mars.
Oh, yeah, I
this
already
week.
pre-ordered that.
Uh-huh.
I did know that was coming out.
Have you seen that yet?
yeah.
Yeah, we
I
got
haven't
to see
seen
it
it
in
yet.
theaters.
It's great.
Did you like the show?
I've seen like bits and pieces.
You should watch the show first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I like the movie, but you've already missed it in theaters, so buy the movie, buy the show, watch the whole thing. It's all fucking fantastic.
It's pretty short, right? It's like 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's 3 seasons.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And
That's
super
good.
solid. I'm rewatching through it now with my folks, and that's a rare show. Like
That's-
a really
that's cool.
smart mystery show where somebody doesn't die every week. Like it's really,
And Kristen Bell is beautiful.
yeah, especially her eyes.
I know.
They're very like symmetrical.
I know. I get lost in them.
Son of Batman comes out this week, which is like it's an animated one. Brad, just nod your head up and down whether or not you want to see Son of Batman. Is that a thing that people should see? Okay, that was a shrug.
Why is Damian Wayne so popular?
That was
There's
also a
another
shrug.
He's not popular. I was glad when they got rid of him from the comics.
Yeah.
It seems like he's experienced some renaissance.
Has he? What?
Yeah, there's plenty of people who...
Yeah, he does.
Ryan's saying that he has his own comic book now.
From the get-go, like, calling the little troubled kid Damien in the comic, it just seems so uninventive.
Yeah.
So I kind of wrote him off after that. And then he's almost like a little Jason Todd.
You don't like Batmite either, do you?
What?
You don't like Batmite either, do you?
You know,
Anybody embrace
He hasn't
your
been in
history.
comics in,
Embrace
like,
your
30
history. It doesn't
years.
matter if it's a bad idea; it's still part of the history.
And you're like, oh, Mr. Mixoplex is the greatest Superman villain of all time.
He is.
I really like Typeface. If I had to pick a Spider-Man villain for the next Spider-Man movie to be Typeface, you know he throws explosive letters at
You know
people.
what Mark Webb would be?
Now-
He would be way more brilliant. Whatever. We'll talk about it later.
It would be fair. Like, look, the dot sounds really lame.
No, the spot?
And the spot. I
no,
mean,
the
yeah,
spot
yeah.
is awesome.
But every now and then, like a villain like that pops in the right way. You use them well, and they're cool.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
just,
saying,
it
don't-
just
don't
depends
write
on
off
the
any
writer
villain.
that you get. Like Damian Wayne is.
No, you can't
Whatever.
make the Typeface cool. Sorry.
No, you probably not. Probably
Oh,
not.
dude.
But like,
For like a good
but-
3 minutes without the conversation about the Wayne brothers. And I was just like, whoa.
I think that's fair.
I just
think
got
that's totally
transported
fair.
to a whole new level.
I think that's totally fair.
I could get into an analytical discussion about Scary Movie 2.
Actually, Scary Movie 2 has one of my favorite stupid lines of all time. Is they're in the mansion, and that kid from Malcolm in the Middle, I forget his name, is walking down, and there's blood on the ground. He says, gross, who's on the rag? I fucking love that line because it's nasty.
Yeah.
I'm just a throwaway line.
The story of the Jews.
Is it
Sorry,
cheap?
I'm moving.
Wait, what the fuck?
No, I'm moving. I'm moving back to what's coming out this
I
week.
said, is it cheap?
Ha 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 ha. Well, it's from PBS. so
Great,
probably-
now I'll never work in Hollywood.
It's from PBS, so probably not. The
They
story
were
of the
never gonna let
Jews
you in
comes
there,
out
huh?
this week, and then a bunch of Hitchcock. So The Birds, Vertigo,
All
Rear
Universal or
Window.
Shout Factory or
No, they're just Blu-ray releases. I
that's
don't think
really
they look
tight.
special.
Love it.
Amistad finally gets a Blu-ray release this week, but again, not a really nice looking one. For some reason, I would think that that Spielberg movies would get like fucking dope ass Blu-ray releases, but
I don't think he cares.
I know he doesn't care, but like there are people who can make a lot of money. Of course, they
Here's
can
the-
make the same
here's
amount
the-
of money. By
here's the thing
like
with
there aren't
Spielberg-
that many people who are going to like run out and be like, "Oh, I have to buy this version of Amistad. Did you look at how many discs are in this set?" Like, you know,
See, here's the thing with Spielberg movies, though, is he always releases two versions.
yeah.
Whether it's War Horse, War of the Worlds, Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, he always has special editions. Plus, here's the movie, and here's an EPK of me saying, "Oh, I really like the idea."
He never does a commentary. He never does like even the Lincoln 4-disc set looked bare bones.
Yeah,
But his documentaries, he's
No.
usually pretty good in them. I mean,
yeah, Lincoln's good.
I love the Jaws documentary on the Blu-ray of Jaws.
Is it
Oh,
the
Jaws-
the shark's still alive?
Yeah.
yeah, Jaws is one of the best Blu-rays he's made.
That documentary, it's the 90-minute one, is amazing.
Oh, Psycho is also getting another Blu-ray release this week.
Nice.
So that's cool. There's a Steelbook version of Jurassic Park, and then what was the last one? There's a whole bunch of Godzilla movies because they're capitalizing on something, but I can't tell what.
Oh well, I don't know what it could be.
Was that a baby? Did somebody just spank a baby? Why? What was that?
Still one of the
Zach?
coolest trailers of the year.
Right,
Oh,
it's your
dude,
son.
hell yeah. Yeah. And your son's been born.
Premature.
It sounds like Godzilla.
My favorite IMDb.
You know,
credit
it's
of all
so
time
funny is
gonna
we
be-
did decide to name him Kaju, so I mean,
That's pretty good.
Oh, God.
Anyway, I think that's everything. I don't think I'm missing anything. I'm all the way down to Axeman, so
Nice.
if there was something good, Behind Enemy Lines 2 is getting another release.
Spielberg films like The Terminal
are they
Uh,
really?
On
Finally,
Blu-ray,
on Blu-ray.
I love that
Good.
movie.
It's very
Just don't
an unexpected Spielberg classic for me. Like
Yep.
I didn't expect to think it was that good. You know,
Yeah.
Because Tom Hanks is amazing.
Oh,
Hell
he
yeah.
is.
I was bored at work and I was just fucking around on JimmyFallon.com and I posted on Facebook. He does this slam poetry of Full House that makes me laugh so hard. It's literally Tom Hanks talking about the episode of Full House where they try to win Beach Boy tickets, and it's amazing.
He would be that good. Have you seen Cloud Atlas?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I totally dug him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how I didn't think that movie was going to work. Period.
Yeah.
But it ended up working somehow, and he was a great part of it.
Some of it works, some of it's hit or miss for me.
Yeah, for sure.
The future talk drove me bananas.
Yeah.
Is that the true?
Yes, that is the true.
Shit.
Oh, God.
Is the shit.
Just I get what you did there. Anyway, that's Blu-rays.
They made a Cloud Atlas reference on Rick and Morty. Have you guys seen that?
No.
I've not seen the show.
Oh,
I've
man.
heard it's great.
It's fantastic. It's
Huh.
like the new Adult Swim thing. It's really,
Oh,
really
cool.
tight.
I'm getting old. I'm not old enough to stay up for Adult Swim anymore. Or I'm too old to stay up for it. Like I'd fall asleep at like 9:30 now, like an old person.
aged.
It's so bad. Ugh, it's gross.
James,
What?
it's time to pallbearer down the aisle. This is real news.
It's real news.
I wasn't sure where that metaphor was going, but that's cool. Bob Hoskins died this week.
I know, bummer.
I know, dude. Please, Eddie.
Yeah, that's such a great movie.
I love it.
Roger Rabbit
Oh God.
will stand the test of time. It's
What the hell's a
Rock
freeway?
I really,
lines in movie history.
I really love him in Hook.
Yeah, Smee.
Yeah, like because that's really good Bob Hoskins to me because he's like slapsticky and stuff in that movie, but there are some sort of serious dark moments there, and he just sort of turns it over, and it shows you some good breadth.
See, where I think he's really
good.
cool that a lot of people don't give credit for is Unleashed with Jet Li.
Oh hell yeah,
Yeah. He's good in that movie.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
like him in Super Mario Brothers.
Brad really likes him in Super Mario Brothers. The only movie to ever make me throw up. I mean, I'd been drinking, but I never threw up when
And
I was
that's
drinking.
going right
it's,
on his tombstone.
yeah. But good for him. Yeah, he hated that movie too. Brett says.
He's like, oh, sweet, you're going to pay me this much money? Okay.
Yeah. It was a nice try. But yeah, I really liked him. He was one of those guys that every time he popped up, you were like, "Fuck yeah," you know, like
Glad he's working.
Oliver Platt. Every time I see Oliver Platt, I'm like, "Fuck yeah, Lake Placid, come on, this is awesome."
I totally pre-ordered. They have a Shout Factory,
Version
Scream
of Lake
Factory
Placid?
of Lake Placid coming out.
God, that's cool.
I know, and they even used the original one-sheet poster for the cover art. So it's like this dude fishing, and behind him, this alligator's mouth is coming up. It's amazing.
I would pay $100 for a Shout Factory Blu-ray of Deep Rising.
Well, you know what? I'm sure it's coming out.
That would be amazing. Oh my god. I just for some reason that like Lake Placid and that movie and you know, they all fit in that same kind of genre to me. Oh.
Did you guys see the trailer for that Wolf Cop yet?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one?
There's this half half man, half wolf, and he's a cop who turns into a wolf. It's
Well,
like
that
Teen
sounds
Wolf.
awesome.
Well, yeah, the trailer was making me laugh. I never saw the trailer. I just saw there's a poster for it, and the trailer came out this week, and it's like he turns into a wolf, and it doesn't look that good, but there's parts where he's like having sex with a bunch of chicks as the wolf in the jail.
Oh hell yeah.
So-
Didn't you make that movie?
I did.
Yeah.
It's called Wolf Fuck.
Oh man. Cool. Oh, right, we're on news. Sorry, I blacked
Yeah.
out for a second. It's really late and I'm tired. Anyway, Star Wars is happening.
Oh,
and we got a
right.
lot of casting on Star Wars, which we don't usually talk casting news, but like people were coming up to me on the streets and saying like, "James," and I didn't even know them, but they were like, "James, have you seen
look
the,
like a
the-
James."
the Star Wars casting? What do you think?" And usually my response was, "I don't give a shit."
Who are you?
But I mean, it's cool. I like that it's a bunch of people that I don't really know, and I really hope it's a lot of characters that I don't really know.
My dad posted a link on my Facebook to who is Daisy Ridley? Like, what's she been in? I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know who she is, and I don't
Your
care.
dad's
Just-
trying to
just
spend
do
some
the
bonding
movie.
time with you by providing a mystery.
Yeah.
And
He's
you're
like,
just
oh, my
shitting
son's a
on
nerd.
it now.
He'll like this.
Yeah,
I cannot relate.
there's old cast members in it and new people.
Except
some
for
of
Hayden
them are on
Christensen.
shows. Yeah.
Guess you have to just count on
Hayden
him being a
Christensen's-
ghost.
And one of them was of them was Gollum, and then they were done.
Well, but you know that he's like Andy Serkis is just going to be a CG character probably.
He's gonna be the
like,
villain.
Or if he's not, I mean, if he's not, that's cool too. He's a good actor.
He's gonna be the villain. He's got to be the villain. I'm calling it now.
I don't want a CG villain.
I don't think he's gonna be CG.
Okay.
Well, I think about it. Like JJ's smart. Maybe he'll play him for who he is, which is actually a talented actor, and not just a CG whiz.
Fair.
Now, if he is a CG
Totally fair.
character, it's either going to be the next Jar Jar or it's going to be the next badass character of all time.
Yeah.
It's got to be one or the other. It can't be.
I can't
Middle.
see Andy Serkis creating a character who's a Jar Jar.
Yeah, I can't either.
Like,
Oh, Misa back, you bitches!
yeah, no, it's not.
It's-
It'd be really great if he were like an evil Sith Jar Jar, like just a fucking badass who shows
A
up
badass
with like
Gungan Sith.
with like both his ears tied up above his head and like a fucking bandana around his and like just kicks the shit out of people. He doesn't even use his hands, right? He's like a Jedi who just kicks everyone to death, but he's a Sith. Like that would be cool.
And what does him kicking people to death have to do with it? That's his
No,
Jedi
like,
ability?
yeah, sure. I
It's
don't
just
care.
kicking people.
Yeah, I don't care. I just want like a badass Gungan. That would be cool.
It'd just be cool to see Han Solo again.
Yeah. I want.
gonna be awesome.
It's the thing I keep saying. Like, I want them. It's a really great universe with a lot of depth. I want them to tell me a fun story and have some cool space action scenes. Like, that's all I want.
Sure they will.
Yeah, and the actors that he's got there are, the ones that I know anything of. They're talented people. Like, this all lays on the script, and that's what we've said from the beginning. So, it'll be good. What else is there? Olympus Has Fallen, getting a sequel.
Nice.
I had to throw that out there.
Is it
'cause,
as Olympus Has Risen?
no, it's Olympus Has Fallen
Harder?
2.
I thought it was called London Has Fallen.
Risen would be good. Is it called London Has Fallen?
That's what I read in Slash
Oh,
Films.
okay.
That's called London Has Fallen,
Shoot.
which is
That's
awesome.
not what I have written down. And very last thing, because I'm just going to skip through some shit. Andrew Garfield was in some interviews this week saying that after he leaves, they should continue what they're doing, but have Miles Morales be Spider-Man.
And then
Ryan-
the producers are like, we don't like black people. And so, no, the producers really said that Avi Arad,
Avi Arad, yeah.
I think it's weird that he thinks
He's
he
been
knows,
very chatty lately.
Yeah, he pretends he knows so much about Spidey, but he says, no, people want Peter Parker. And again, when we get to
That's not the point that he
when we
was
get to the
making.
review of the movie, I'll tell you one of my favorite moments is it doesn't matter who's behind the mask; it's
Yeah.
what the mask represents.
Yeah.
So for you to say that people don't want to see Miles Morales, I think is a big.
Yeah, it's stupid. Avi Arad has said some dumb shit, and they should probably put him back in his box. It's I don't know.
And then he's only really
And-
the producer of these is because he produced the first one.
The issue here is also that like Andrew Garfield is probably one of the biggest fans on that on those movies right now. Like he's pretty hardcore about this shit. So if he comes out and says, "Hey, this is what they should do," yeah, he's probably a pretty good representation of what people
Yeah,
actually
I
want from
agree.
Spider-Man. Like,
Right.
because people are coming to Spider-Man. There are two kinds of people who are coming to Spider-Man. There's the real fans who probably aren't going to care that much about whether or not you tell a story that has Peter Parker, as long as it's a cool Spider-Man story. And then there's the people who really don't know any better. And if you tell them that there's a Latino black kid who's Spider-Man now, fine, that's cool too. And then he can be Danny Glover, and I'm on board with that. Or not Danny Glover, Donald Glover.
There you go.
Danny Glover too, dude. Danny Glover as Spider-Man.
You got an angel looking after you.
I'm
Yeah.
too old for this shit.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
But
Like
unfortunately-
like
The
Spider-Man.
Shocker is rubbing a bank. I'm too old for this shit.
Hold on, let me tighten up my girdle. What? I'm wearing a girdle. I'm getting old, Riggs. Yeah.
But unfortunately, Andrew and I got a split.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
dudes.
sorry.
Ain't
Tell-
no thing.
Oh no, it's okay. We didn't know there was a time crunch.
Oh, no worries, dude.
How was the movie?
It just
Real
came
quick,
up.
should
No,
people
yeah.
should people
I'll,
go see the
I'll,
movie?
I'll still be here. Don't worry. Oh wait, nobody gives a shit. But anybody who just heard Tony for a brief second, he'll be back on a future episode, I'm sure. But go check out 2 Years Since Friday.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 years since Friday.
Is there a web address or Facebook page?
It'll be there's a Facebook page and it'll be on both Zach and mine's Facebook.
cool.
Yeah, we'll
for
be
sure.
posting it immediately as soon as we get done with this episode tonight. So
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Right.
Well,
Spider-Man 2,
yeah.
dude, I thought it was pretty rad. It was
Nice.
pretty rad, dude.
Nice.
Like
I like you.
the thing is, it's like I'm super close to the Raimi films, like
Yeah.
really, really close.
For sure.
And so it's like, I personally thought the Amazing Spider-Man was horseshit. I thought it was terrible. But
Okay.
the Spider-Man 2 just like, I don't know,
Cool.
slammed it on up.
It
That's
works.
just me, I
It
guess.
works. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Andrew?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, everything, and it was fun.
Nice.
Fun. All the visual effects were fucking awesome. Jamie Foxx was badass.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
that's the review I want for everything. What did you think of Citizen Kane? It was great,
everything,
and Jamie Foxx was
fun.
badass.
And Jamie Foxx is a badass. The hip hop was cool, man. Yeah. Thug life.
Thanks for stopping by,
Thanks
guys.
so much, guys.
Appreciate
I
it.
really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
No, sorry we ran long.
2 years since Friday. If you contribute $10, they'll buy you a bagel.
One bagel, only
One
one.
bagel.
That's all the craft services can afford, guys.
Yes.
Look, I don't make any money, really. I don't. So come on, get with that. Oh, since we're still in real news,
yeah.
can I bring up a piece of news that will interest me and Brad, and also our guest who just left? But
Sure.
there's a rumor going around, guys, and I'm going to start a segment on
Hey,
this show.
we're not a rumor
Hill or
mill.
High Water. It's
Okay.
updates about a fucking walrus movie. Johnny Depp is rumored to be in Tusk. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. What does that mean to you guys? Like, because I already heard you talking about Mallrats Blu-ray last week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, what do you think? If he does get him, what do you think?
I like Kevin Smith. I'm not the biggest Johnny Depp fan.
I think it would probably be the smartest thing for Johnny Depp to do.
I think so
Because I think his career is about as stagnant as fucking hell. And
yeah.
he can do, like, even after Transcendence, like he does when he's not doing a Johnny Depp character, he's doing like Johnny Depp from Nick in Time, and it's like the most bland kind of, you know, thriller version of a dude, right? Where if he did something that was weird and actually required him to work, I think that could be really cool.
I don't know. When was the last time you actually acted? Chocolat? I don't know.
Yeah, I think yeah, you just pulled out a good one. Where like that's a really good role. But I don't think he's done anything as good as Ed Wood since Ed Wood.
Yeah,
and I love some of the characters. You know, I really love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Me too.
Jack Sparrow is entertaining as fuck, but I don't think it's rich anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't say that necessarily. Like,
Yeah.
I've always loved Johnny Depp. I even liked him in. I ended up seeing Transcendence this week. I actually liked him in the movie. I wasn't a big fan of the story.
He's not bad,
But-
he's
but-
just not special.
But here's the thing, and this is just to wrap it up: is that I do think that he's just hearing that news alone just means like it means that he's going back into a realm he hasn't been in since the '90s, which is very smaller, obscure films like what he did with John Waters and even with Tim Burton with
Totally.
like Edward Scissorhands. Like he's going back to his roots a little bit, and I think that I don't know what the role is, but whatever it is, like, you know, it's clear if it's a monster movie that Kevin Smith has been describing, which has been Tusk, it's got to be something interesting if he's involved. So I just wanted to bring that up. 'Cause
No,
it's interesting.
you hope, and you know, James said it right. You just sometimes, just with Johnny Depp right now, it's just like, oh, cool. Now he's going to be a Tim Burton movie where he has eye black around his eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that I think people are getting a little tired of it to a degree, but. I mean, regardless of what Johnny Depp does, he's still a talented actor. But
No,
I
I
think
agree.
this might be interesting. It might be different and nothing else.
Secret Window. Like I don't adore Secret Window, but I think it's an interesting movie and he's good in it. And it's not normal Johnny Depp.
But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
Totally.
I hadn't heard it for 2 weeks, and I was just like, is nobody going to address this really sweet, juicy rumor?
It's honestly, and this is hypocritical
It's-
since I just talked about casting news. We just don't tend to talk about a lot of casting news
Yeah, I
because
know.
it becomes so. I mean, it's like you said it. It's a rumor. Like
Yeah, it's a rumor.
we
but
could fill the show talking about, but that you're right. It was an interesting one.
Yeah.
For sure.
cool.
What's next, Ryan?
That's it for real news.
Yeah, that's it for real news. Unless I've missed something.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just checking. I don't know. Fuck, what have we been watching this week?
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad, you haven't said a word. You're starting it this time.
I said a few things. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I don't think I watched anything this week.
Oh my gosh.
Oh snap!
Watch. I mean, a couple weeks ago I watched Bloodsport, and Time Cop and didn't talk about it. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that was a couple weeks ago, so I don't know how well I'm going to do at it.
How's Time Cop? Still pretty good. Mia Sara. Does she dance in that movie? Like she
No,
does
she's
in
way
Naked?
naked.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's why that movie's awesome.
man.
And does Jean-Claude does like
I
the
haven't
splits
seen
between two things that's pretty badass in that movie, right?
wait. Jean-Claude
No, I
does
don't
the
think so.
splits.
Or is that
I mostly remember the climax where they're like in a Victorian house and like it's raining and they're fighting guys.
I
and
haven't seen that movie in a long time.
the villain gets pushed into himself and he turns into like a red blob, and it's early '90s CGI. Yeah, it totally was not anything like the movie was. It's actually a comic book for one thing, or based on a comic
It actually
book.
started the comic book craze.
Yes,
Yep.
it did.
That
Yep.
and X-Men, and Spider-Man.
Not Batman 1989.
No. Nope.
And then Bloodsport's better in my like.
Yeah, no, I think Bloodsport's a cool movie.
Yeah, it's a simple like
Because- well, I
revenge
mean,
movie, but
It's simple, but it's still cool where, you know, these guys are going underground to fight. And
yeah. And I forgot he had this like subplot where he was like on the run from the army just to
I don't remember that
do
either.
this tournament, and then the army guys are like trying to catch up with him, and just before the final match, like they do catch up with him, and then he escapes, and they watch the match while they wait to like arrest him.
Because why
So-
not?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll give you a little
We're
piece
here,
of
might as well.
trivia. after the Mortal Kombat guys saw that movie, they were going to put Jean-Claude Van Damme. The Mortal Kombat was really going to star Jean-Claude Van Damme. And if you look at the first Johnny Cage model, he has those shorts and like the red scarf going down. So it's basically him in Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's basically Mortal Kombat without the spine rips and the four-armed weirdo.
Yep.
character.
No, it really is. No,
Yeah.
that's a true story. I don't know why the deal fell through. Maybe because he started getting really popular, but he cost too much money or
Yeah,
something.
probably too expensive. So that's it for me.
Oh man.
James,
did-
what you watched? Oh,
Sorry. No, it doesn't matter. I did watch Wrong Cops and fall asleep, but I'll get that next week.
You wait till you can.
It wasn't
stay
even
awake
boring.
through
I
it.
just
Yeah.
I pass out randomly now.
Yeah.
hopefully
It's,
not while
it's
you're
the
driving.
drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just did fewer drugs,
So
you got to at
drugs.
least balance it out with some coke.
You gotta low down a little bit on your fucking like methamphetamines and shit like that. Once you do that, you're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been taking like just a big bowl of cocaine, meth, and heroin,
Oh, it's the
and
heroin.
mixing it up into a
The heroin
syringe,
makes you tight.
Careful, that killed Chris Farley.
You got-
and many more people.
Nobody's
Yeah.
working for the weekend anymore.
and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
man.
Too soon? Too soon?
And James Belushi, John Belushi, James Belushi.
so
Tom
what
Belushi.
we've been watching this week is apparently a bunch of celebrities dying of overdoses.
Yes.
Jim Belushi's just overrated.
No,
And an asshole, according to David Cross.
gosh, James, fuck you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Was it me next?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just a couple things. I was out of town for a while and thought I was going to watch some things while I was gone, but all I did was work and sleep. So I took this huge stack of comics with me. I slept on the plane too. Like, it was ridiculous. So, two quick things. One was I got to watch, like 2 years ago, I supported this little Kickstarter for a movie called How to Grow a Band, which was it's a documentary about how Chris Thile created a band called the Punch Brothers, which is this sort of, it's a band that I got into because I'm into bluegrass music, and but I didn't realize like how tough what they were doing was until I watched this movie. And basically it follows them as they try to create a band where he fuses like traditional bluegrass, which is what he grew up. Chris Thile is amazing. He's been playing the mandolin since he was 5 years old, and there's probably no one else on the planet who can play a stringed instrument as well as that guy can. And he decided after his previous band broke up that he wanted to put together a band where they would sort of fuse classical music with bluegrass, and he did it by putting together a quintet that then did a like 40-minute 4-movement piece about divorce that's like nonstop, and that's the way he decided to like create new crazy music. And to me, it's interesting because as they start playing the music, and they're in London, and they get booed off the stage when it's over, like people are pissed, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, this shit is gorgeous. Like, how does anybody not like this? But it's just really fascinating to watch the way that because it's about them bringing together these 5 guys who want to build this band and how passionate they end up being about this idea. And even though people don't seem to get it at first, they keep doing it and they keep trying, and they sort of push themselves to get this new style of music out there. And it's really cool. Even just from like, if you're not into the music, just watching like the strife that can be caused when you are trying to put together a band and grow that band on the road, it's just really fascinating. So it's totally worth checking out. It was a Kickstarter, like I said, but it's on Hulu Plus right now, or on Hulu, just regular Hulu right now. So you can go check it out for free. And then I think I still haven't got my DVD of it. Because they've been really good about updating people, but every update is like, I'm sorry guys, it's not done yet. And it's been like 2 years. But still, cool movie. I was more than happy to have supported it. So go check that out. It's called How to Grow a Band. And then I was hoping I was going to get to check a lot of stuff off my list this week, but I only got one, and it was Night of the Living Dead.
Good man.
Yeah. Now, first up, before we move on, I believe I made a mistake here because I bought the Blu-ray on Amazon forgetting that there was a rule about the Blu-ray. So, Ryan, take a second and educate people on what they're supposed to buy.
I've never heard this before.
There is no official Blu-ray release of Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead, when it was released in theaters, was in a warehouse, and the warehouse burnt down, and they only had a couple surviving prints. When they ran those prints, they didn't have the copyright at the end. So Night of the Living Dead has been in public domain since it's been released. And George A. Romero did not make very much money off of it. He made some money because he never officially released it. So make sure you pick up the DVD of the 40th anniversary of Night of the Living Dead.
Is that the one that Weinstein released?
Yes.
That version is awesome.
Yeah, it's a great version because there's a great documentary about it. And it's a George A. Romero certified one. So
Yeah, it's a
he's on
certified
it
release.
so he can, make
Yeah.
money off of it.
So I'm going to go buy that version too, especially because the Blu-ray is garbage. Because clearly nobody spent any time on it.
Well, no, because anybody and their uncle can release the version of this movie.
Right.
And, I have a really... I dislike movies when I see that movie being played in the background.
Right.
Because unless for some reason they said, I'm going to give George A. Romero for putting this movie on in my background,
Yeah.
but a lot of low-budget movies do it because they don't have to pay anybody, and everyone knows what Night of the Living Dead is. So
Right.
I have a lot of... I'm weird like that.
Yeah,
No, I think it's totally fair.
You
I'll
see
be
White
honest.
Zombie in the background of a lot of movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
It was one where like I bought it. When I do this, I tend to like go on Amazon and just go through a string of them and just buy like 5 or 6 Blu-rays.
Well, yeah, because
and I just forgot
$4 or
it. When it-
$5.
Yeah, and when it came in the mail and I saw the cover and I was like, this looks shady as shit. Oh fuck! Ryan told me about this. I feel like such a dick.
That's what my own moral high horse though. I'm like, I'm only getting it if it's approved by George A. Romero.
Yeah. Anyway, this movie's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's a
like
great movie.
it's it's old and it suffers a little bit from just being an older movie and the way that they get paced and things like that. And it's setting up a lot of the rules that ended up being like the rules of this whole genre. But where I don't want to spoil it, even though it's a classic. But if you're like me and you've never actually seen this movie, there's some really tight stuff in this movie. Like the story that they're telling and the characters that you get invested in and what happens to them is really cool. And he's digging into some of the psychology here. And I mean it goes right after. I wasn't even expecting this, which is surprising considering that like it sets up the genre. But it goes right after that basic idea that the people who are really dangerous aren't necessarily the zombies. It's a really badass movie that people should check out. Probably in the top 5 or 6 of the ones that I've seen so far, as far as movies that I've really enjoyed. And even though I'm going to go buy the DVD now, it's a DVD that I will probably rewatch a few times because I think it's really cool.
You should, because that DVD has a lot of great bonus features on it. It has a really great documentary. It also has interviews with Romero, and it has the last interview with the star of it,
What's his name?
Dwayne something. I can't remember his last name. It's Dwayne something, but it's a great little audio-only interview with him. But yeah,
Dwayne Jones.
Dwayne Jones. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. When I did my list on RealNerdsPodcast.com of my 100 favorite horror movies, I did a tie between Army of Darkness and Night of the Living Dead. And the reason is Army of Darkness isn't technically a horror movie to me.
Yeah, it's got
it does have
got the
horror
tropes,
elements.
but
it's more
not-
of a fantasy movie
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah.
But, Night of the Living Dead to me is the epitome of what horror is, because not only are you facing ghouls outside, but who's really the bad people. And the ending is so depressing.
Yeah.
It really does mess with you.
And some of those moments, like the tension in the room, like when you meet the guys who were in the basement, and especially as an educated modern like movie fan, you know what things are wrong. Like you meet those characters and you're like, okay, that person's been bit and that's going to be a problem, and this is but it's still really cool just the way that he builds that tension. It's very like, I mean, it's rudimentary in some ways, but very much The Thing or something like that.
Right.
Just a super badass movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zach, what have you been watching recently?
What did I watch? Well, I kind of stepped a little bit back in time from our January episode, the Jack Ryan episode. I had said I've been focusing a lot on the West Memphis 3 case
Yeah,
because for some reason
as most sane people do.
because you just fall down that rabbit hole and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching the movie Devil's Knot on VOD. Devil's Knot is based off of Mara Levitt's novel from 2002, I think it is, and it's a novel about the West Memphis 3 case, but it's told more like a Zodiac kind of story.
Yeah, it's more fictionalized, right?
It's not fictionalized. It's not, more specifically, it's dramatized. It's dramatized.
Yeah, okay,
It's
that's
more
fair.
Like,
Yeah.
Let me rephrase. Like it's more like I'll just say this. Devil's Knot the book is the same way as the Devil's Knot the movie. It's a very good idea for a Lifetime movie, but they don't understand. I feel I think that there's so much more to that story than what was presented on that page. And Adam Yegan is a great director who knows what he's doing most of the time. Like Chloe and What Lies Beneath, they're all great movies. I think that this one, it was either he was lazy or he made a very intentional decision. And I don't know which one it is. That's the thing. It's confused me since I've seen it. Is that it seems like it's just an episode of Law and Order, but at the same time it may be holding something deeper. The one thing I will say about the movie and give it credit for is that it's very accurate with the details. It follows the case perfectly. And it's the only time in the past 5 or 6 years where I've actually liked Reese Witherspoon in a movie. Oh, absolutely. She poured whatever heart and soul she didn't, I feel, put into June Carter, she totally put in here.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately just kind of like a B movie that you want to watch. Like I think that somebody out there is going to make a much better version of the West Memphis 3 story in a fictionalized, dramatized version than what Adam Yegan did. But I think it's a good start.
Should they?
I think I know there's a good story there, but it's not where Adam Yegan was telling his story. I think that the story actually lies in how this case got attention, because this case would have been nothing but something being swept under the rug if it wasn't for Joe Berlinger and Bruce Sinofsky, the two people who really put this case on the map and really gave it exposure. If you're going to make a movie about this case at all, make it about those guys, because those guys are fucking heroes.
Yeah, you make it more of an Aaron Brockovich kind of a movie rather than like a. Because
I'd wanted to do it if you were going to do it.
Not about the mystery of the murder, but about the guys who saw there was a problem and did something about it.
If you're going to do it, it needs to be a 3-way combination between Zodiac, Aaron Brockovich, and probably Seven. You'd have to match all those qualities of something like that, like in order to get that story out there.
Because if you go after it, like if you made a movie like Prisoners about that story that was very, it's not even about being insensitive. It just feels like it seems impossible to make that movie not ring false when you're that close to something very real.
The more brutal you are with that content, the more eyebrows you're going to raise. But there's a responsible way to tell it, and honestly, the only director who probably could do it, probably Martin Scorsese. I don't know why, but I've looked at his films in the past. I looked at the way he handles music, and music is a big part of this case because of how these people were prejudiced and stereotyping. Music plays an important part. If anybody could handle that, it'd probably be Scorsese. But so anyway, Devil's not obviously the prime example of what we would want to do. The only other thing that I watched this week was Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I proceeded to jizz over that movie as much as humanly possible. I think Kevin Smith said it best on Fat Man on Batman this weekend, which was I want 96 movies of Falcon and Cap together in a road movie, romantic comedy, chick flick. I don't fucking give a shit. I want everything Falcon and Cap.
Yeah. That movie's badass. Every time it's what I say every time somebody brings this up. Every time he kicks somebody, it's awesome.
And
it never gets not cool.
And you know what? And I'm so happy that movie is as successful as it is and as good as it is, because ever since 2011, I took shit for loving Captain America 1, the first Avenger, more than Thor, more than Iron Man.
Yeah.
I loved Captain America 1 because I knew it was going to lead. Sure the fuck enough.
Yeah.
It happened.
Captain America's that's part of what's really cool, great about that movie, is that it makes Captain America really feel like a badass. Like the first movie tells you why you should love Steve Rogers. You know, like it explains to you why Steve Rogers is important. And then this is the movie where it's like, yeah, and he's going to kick everyone's ass.
Not only is
and
he
it's
going to
be
kick
cool.
ass, but this is the movie that shows us him as a human being, because the
Totally.
first one perfectly shows Steve Rogers as a soldier and as a hero, as a superhero. In many ways, Captain America 1 is a perfect superhero movie because it is just about him being heroic.
Yeah.
And doing all the, like, oh, I get the girl at the end, and
Yeah.
but it's always focused on, like, there's a mission I have. And sometimes I think you throw in too much emotion into superhero movies and it gets convoluted. I thought Captain America was a perfect balance of that. This one, even better, because they did have a little bit of romantic tension, but it wasn't going where it's eventually going to go, because if you read comic history, you know who's supposed to end up with each other.
Uh-huh.
So, I think that it's getting more sophisticated. We were having that Dark Knight talk. I think Captain America 2 is obviously the best comic book movie since The Dark Knight, by far.
It's interesting. I used to say, back when Dark Knight came out, my argument used to be that Dark Knight was the best superhero movie and that Spider-Man 2 was the best comic book movie, which I think is important, especially for the conversation we're going to have later, because what I was saying there is that the tropes and the things that comic books really rely on a lot, that sort of fantastical element, Spider-Man has to deal with, whereas Dark Knight is very capable of getting away from that and being set in the real world and then being an awesome movie because of it. And Captain America has that too. Like, Batman never has to like run around and do stuff that seems completely out of reality, but Captain America does, and that movie sells it really well. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, there's a brain in a box in Captain America. Spoilers. There's a brain in a box in Captain America. Batman never has a brain in a box.
Shall we play
and
a
that's
game?
neither of them is right. It's just that they deal with very different issues when you're talking about writing a story like that.
I mean, ultimately, like, it's the strongest thing I've seen in 5 years since The Dark Knight. Like, it's been, what, about 5-6 years?
Yeah, something
Give or
like that.
take.
Oh, it's got to be 6.
Yeah.
Brad would know, but he's
that's
on
the
it.
strongest thing
The-
I've seen in that 6
The
year
Dark
gap.
Knight?
Yeah,
It's 2008.
6 years ago.
Between The Dark
Yeah.
Knight and Captain America 2, like, even in that gap, like, The Avengers was probably the closest for me, and now it's
But it's-
Cap 2.
Yeah, Cap.
Like, it hits on every level possible of what I love about comic book movies and what I love about action movies in general. And more importantly, that's a 70s movie. I love how people are being maliciously fooled, because that movie is just a 70s movie, all shot in wide angles, pretty much, with the exception of the action sequences. It's all the President's Men,
Yeah.
or Marathon Man, or any 70s thriller you watch. And what's amazing is that you could sit the same kid who loved Captain America 2 in front of Marathon Man, and they would hate Marathon Man, but they love Captain 2, and it always makes me laugh.
Yeah. Cool. Brian, what have you watched?
Just a few things. I love my Scream Factory Blu-rays. This week I got The Fog. It's an old
The
John-
original Fog,
yeah.
not Maggie Grace's The Fog.
No. The John Carpenter's The Fog
With Jamie Lee Curtis.
with Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's what it should be. John Carpenter's The Fog and Maggie Grace's The Fog.
And it is an all right movie. It's literally about a
fog.
haunted fog
Yeah.
with ghost pirates.
Ghost Pirates.
You know, it's what it is. I mean, it's still a fun movie to watch. There's some pretty cool effects in it. There's a great interview with Jamie Lee Curtis, though, and she says, "Oh, my time on The Fog." And she's talking about what she did, and she said, "Yeah, that movie's not very good." and she says, "What? It's been
pretty
30
good.
years. I can say that about that movie." So that's pretty funny.
I cashed the check a long time ago.
And she said, "I just want to point out that, you know, after Halloween, I had some rough patches, and John gave me this fog, and I really appreciate him for that, but the movie's not good." So it's kind of cool to hear her say that.
Yeah.
And she seems like a pretty nice lady when she's talking about everything else. So yeah, I mean, the Blu-ray looks great. That's what's really cool about it, is you get these cheesy 80s movies that get really nice Blu-rays.
Yeah.
As should be.
Yeah, they should. You know, it's cool to have people that actually care about the movies that they're producing.
Especially for that time period, because it's
Yeah.
hard to transfer some of that stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have from Scream Factory a Blu-ray of The Video Dead. I mean, they take their time in movies
Yeah.
that you've never heard of and make them
Yeah.
look nice.
Mhm.
I also rewatched The Impossible, which is the 2006 tsunami movie starring Naomi Watts. It's still one of my favorite movies from last year. Performances are really good.
Last year.
Yeah. Well, 2012, so it could get put up for Academy Awards. Denver, 2013.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just a really a solid movie. It's kind of depressing, but still pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I
love them.
Visual effects are really cool.
Oh yeah, there's
God.
really cool.
They're very impressive.
There's a really cool featurette on it about the visual effects and how they pulled it off. And they could only do where it destroys the hotel. They could only do it in one shot because they didn't have enough money. So they set up, I think, 15 cameras.
Wow.
And they said, "Well, here we go. We'll see if this works." And surprisingly, it looks really intense.
Yeah.
And it's cool because they actually built a bunch of little models, and they found a way to make the water look dirty. And obviously, they shot some with Naomi Watts, and then they put the miniatures in there. Then they superimposed people, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that movie. Watching it again, the last thing I watched 2 more things. I watched Shaun of the Dead again. I got the steel books. I'm like, I should watch it.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead's still a brilliant movie. It's one of those movies I still
they're
laugh at
coming
no
for
matter
you,
how many
Barbara.
times I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And you always catch little different things in it, even though because that's how great of a filmmaker Edgar Wright is you see his little nuances throughout it, and
Yeah.
He just puts so much
it
information
does.
in there.
He really does, and it's just picking up. And even the performances, Nick Frost when Sean breaks up with or Liz breaks up with Sean, and they're in the bar, and he's telling the stories about the people that come to the bar, and the way he sells the stories is just amazing. So yeah, I love that movie. And the last thing I watched was The Seed of Chucky. I've seen all the child
What?
plays except for Seed of Chucky,
And
which is maybe it is the worst Chucky movie.
Wasn't there just one
I
recently
thought
that you
Bride
really
was
liked?
worse.
Oh yeah, Curse of Chucky's really good.
That's right. Yeah.
Child's Play and Curse
I
of
thought-
Chucky are definitely the best.
the
Chucky
that's
movies.
the newer one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because what they did is they really scaled back the goofiness of it and really, really focused on I don't know if making Chucky scary again. But this movie is just bonkers. John Waters plays a paparazzi
And
who's
when you say his name, we already know what
Yeah.
the movie's about.
and Jennifer Tilly plays herself in it, and it's just really bizarre. Because Jennifer Tilly is basically playing herself, where she doesn't get the part she used to get, and a lot of people don't remember that she was nominated for Academy Award at one point. And so Redman, the rapper, is making a Bible movie, and he's looking for his Virgin Mary, and so Jennifer Tilly is going to try to sleep with him to become the Virgin Mary in his movie, and then John Waters is a paparazzi taking their pictures, and of
A
course
little homage to Pecker within that, but
and then the Bride of Chucky ended with them giving birth to their little kid, and this one starts off.
Glenda.
Yeah, Glenn or Glenda is really the name. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's a little. I love that little homage to Ed Wood there. It's a. I've never taken a Chucky movie seriously before in my life, and
I
this
haven't
one
either,
was
but-
no exception.
It's just so bizarre. And then the guy who plays Pip in The Lord of the Rings is
yeah,
the voice
he
of.
plays. Billy
Oh,
Boyd
wow.
plays
Yeah.
Glenn or Glenda.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
It's really weird. For a
Curse of
Chucky
Chucky.
movie, it's
I finally
really-
saw Curse of Chucky about a month ago, and it is amazing.
It is.
Compared to what Child's Play 2 to Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky had been.
Yeah,
So-
and what's really, I mean, the Curse of Chucky, the scene where he puts rat poison in somebody's chili and everyone's eating it, is a really tense scene and just shot really well. But yeah, that's what.
Have any of you seen Glenn or Glenda? Am I the
Yes.
only one? Yeah.
I've seen it.
Oh man,
I've seen every Ed Wood movie.
it's worse than Plan 9.
That-
That's what's interesting. That's what's
Do you know-
crazy
do you know
about
what's-
people
do you know
saying
what's
that
worse
Plan
than,
9.
Do you know what's worse than both of them? Bride of the Monster.
Yeah.
Or Bride of the Monster, Bride of the
It,
Atom.
it's interesting that people say Plan 9 is the worst movie of all time because it's the best movie he ever
No,
made.
The Room is the worst movie ever made.
I know
Uh,
Brad saw Fateful Findings.
Yeah,
That sounded-
Fateful Findings is
Fateful Findings even worse.
it's in there with The Room. It's pretty close. It's
Oh,
almost like
man.
I can't tell if they're honestly bad filmmakers or they're trying to capture the room by making a shitty copy of it.
He's funny is that he's not as quotable as Tommy.
No, yeah,
He's not as quotable as Tommy, whoever this guy is.
but the charm is just like how bad the acting is. It's not so much the lines; it's
Yeah.
just the bad edits and the bad acting.
What are you gonna do?
So yeah, that's what I saw. I'll probably never watch A Seed of Chucky again, unless there's some sort of commentary on it. I might want to hear what they have to say about making the movie.
What do you
I'm
have to
sorry.
say for yourself? Yeah.
Look, we were high.
Well, the funny thing is the Don Mancini wrote the first one, and he's made every Chucky movie since.
Yeah.
So it stayed with the same guy.
So he thinks it's interesting.
Maybe.
Or makes
Well,
money.
that's why he made Curse of Chucky, because I think he wasn't happy with Seed of Chucky either.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I don't think anybody was.
He's like,
I
"You know
don't,
what, let's make
think
this one
Brad
shitty."
Dourif was happy
Yeah.
with Seed of Chucky.
See how that works.
Cool. That's what we saw. James, you have a comic book for me this week?
I can, but it's Spider-Man week. I just assumed.
I did Spider-Man last week. I haven't read The Amazing Spider-Man yet.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I can tell people to read Amazing Spider-Man 121, but I hope they really have.
I could give you guys a comic book if
Cool.
you need one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, before you do, real quick,
Do we need to
technically this will go up. No,
Okay.
technically this will go up before, but tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day, and I don't know if you guys talked about it last week, but even though we're late, go support your local comic book store.
Hell yeah.
If you've never been to a comic book store, find one near you. They may still have some books. Just walk in, buy a couple things. They've got a Guardians of the Galaxy and a Rocket Raccoon book this year, which might help you prepare for some movies later in the summer. So go check that shit out.
I thought of you when I saw the Guardians of the Galaxy in 3D,
Yeah,
the trailer.
I still haven't seen that trailer in theaters yet.
No?
And it pisses me off every time. Like today, I was like,
see.
"Well, for sure, we'll see it this time."
You didn't see it with Captain America 2 at all?
No, because it's one of those things. It's supposed to launch with Captain America, right? But it's just sort of traditionally true that a lot of times the theater won't necessarily get the trailer or get enough copies of the trailer to show it in front
Well,
of
here's
every
the thing,
showing.
too, is we do see
So
the
it's really common.
And
to
the Alamo
not.
only shows 2 trailers before they're...
That too, yeah. So
Right.
because I'm sure they're going to show Guardians of the Galaxy, but they also, I think the Alamo
I've seen
tends
that
to show
trailer.
movies that are more recent, right? So I think they don't necessarily like showing a movie or a trailer for a movie at the end of the summer because
Yeah.
the hope is it's they want to sell you a ticket 2 weeks from now. No.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've seen the trailer a couple times in theaters. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an amazing Marvel movie. It's gonna be the
I
Scott
agree.
Pilgrim of the Marvel universe.
I
convinced.
that's a good way to put it. I think. Yeah.
Because it's James Gunn. Like it's the same thing with Edgar Wright. I thought that Scott Pilgrim was going to be this big, huge explosion, and no.
It is. That movie's fucking dope as shit. Like, yes,
yeah,
it didn't
but it
do
was
very
not,
well, but like,
yeah, but look what won at the box office that week.
yeah, but
I'm just saying it's going to be the same result, but ultimately Guardians of the Galaxy is going to get a lot of love in
yeah,
the long run.
yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of people aren't going to go see that movie because it's got a talking raccoon in it, and they will miss out because I think that movie's going to be fucking amazing.
It's got a
'cause
talking
it's got a
tree
talking
in it too,
raccoon
but
in
nobody's making fun of that either.
What's your book?
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
Well, my book is Marvels. Does anybody remember Marvels?
I love Marvel.
I think it's one of the most beautifully drawn things I've ever seen in my life. And I remember reading it when I was in middle school, and I picked it up again this week. Just really kind of looking for something to read because I had The Man Without Fear run, and I'm kind of leafing through that right now. So I just went through Marvels. It's a quick read. As anybody doesn't know what Marvels is, it's basically all the Marvel heroes in their origins based off of when they were created, told through the eyes of this photographer. It's I think it's a poetic story. I think if anybody wants to make an indie, artsy-fartsy Marvel movie out there, that would be it. It would be to make Marvels.
Yeah,
That's the most indie. That's the 500 Days of Summer of the Marvel
like
universe.
if Mark Webb were going to make, oh shoot,
If sorry, no. If Jim Jarmusch, the guy who did Only Lovers Left Alive, the new vampire movie that came out, if he were to do something like Marvel's, it would be amazing. The artwork is brilliant. It's Alex Ross, I believe, is the main artist behind it. There's incredible artwork with the Human Torch that I really like, and I totally identified with because there was almost like a science exhibit, and they just have him kind of like being, it's just him studied upon. It's like the Elephant Man in the movie in the Elephant Man when they're revealing everything with him. so I would totally recommend and pick up that book.
Cool.
And I also read the Archie zombie book.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I have no real comment because I'm not finished with it yet, but I really like what they've done with it.
The fourth one really got me. It really did.
I heard your review on the last one that you'd read, and that was actually really depressing because I hadn't read that one yet up to that point. When I finally read it, I got what you were saying about it. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I need to read the Death of Archie now, I guess.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm suddenly back into Archie.
But just the weird versions of Archie.
Yeah, just the weird, fucked up Archie.
Yeah, Marvel's is when Alex Ross, I think, hit his peak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds silly to say because that's almost 20 years ago, but now I don't know, his art doesn't catch me as much.
He does a lot of covers
because he
now.
doesn't do interiors anymore. And in Marvel's, he had to do interiors and do layouts, and I think it challenged him. I don't know if he's really challenged anymore.
Yeah, his covers now to me, like I see them and they feel
His covers for the new
played
Batman
out.
66 are supposed to look pretty good. I haven't seen him yet. But.
Yeah, and my issue with him always, his Batmans and Supermans always look like chubby. They seem like he tries to make them too real. They tries to make them too, and that sounds silly to say about a superhero, but I don't know.
No, I hear you. Yeah. Cool.
Cool. And now it's the moment all fans have been waiting for.
The end of the show.
Yep. See you later. This week, the Real Nerds went and saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2. James, should people go see The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah. I really enjoyed this. And people are going to say what all they want to say about too many villains or, it being hackneyed at times or whatever. I don't feel it because at the end of the day, there are really good characters and a really good story here that I think is really worth telling. And that's going to drive through everything else. People need to go see this movie.
Brad, should people go see The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I've been dreading this all week because I saw it on Monday as well. And,
Oh, yeah?
And I'm not even to be a dick, but I thought it was dull. I thought it was boring and weak. And I'll explain why in a minute.
Cool. Zach, should people go see The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Finally, the tables have turned. I really, really wanted to like this movie. I really, really did. I do not discourage people from seeing any comic book movie at all, period, in a theater. But Spider-Man 2 is...
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is... I mean, if you're a kid or if you're a teenager, you're going to probably love the shit out of this movie. I don't know why I didn't like it. Everything in that movie is set up for me to like it, and yet there's something about it that I just did not get. And we'll go into it because most of this movie is spoiler-filled. That is one thing. You cannot really describe what goes on in this movie without giving away big plot details. And I will say, though, on the other hand, of me not liking it, everybody in the movie is fantastic.
Yep.
The acting is solid in it. Emma Stone, Andrew Garfield, they all give solid performances. Jamie Foxx gives a good performance as Electro. Paul Giamatti stole my heart as my favorite comic book villain movie of all time. Out of any comic book villain I've seen in a movie, he was my favorite because he's the only one who's ever said, "I am a criminal."
Hell yeah.
I had to give him props for that. And I think Dane DeHaan, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is young Willem Dafoe. It's fucking scary. So, definitely approach with caution is what I would say. Approach with caution. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, you're going to love it.
This is a tough one for me to review because my heart's so much into Spider-Man. I loved the movie. Being such a Spider-Man fan, I think it hit all the right moments, but I'm not surprised that it's divisive, that a lot of people can't get into it. Because, and actually, I will disagree on one point that you said, Zach. I think kids will have a harder time with this movie because there's about an hour where Spider-Man's not in the movie.
Yeah, we'll get into that
So,
later.
That's my favorite hour of the movie.
Here's
Shut up.
Here's the trailer for The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You know what it is I love about being Spider-Man? Everything.
Peter Parker, Harry Osborn.
It's been 10 years. What have you been up to?
I do some web design.
Nice arm.
It's just the wrist, just on the wrist, buddy.
Peter, you're gonna want to see this Oscorp. Get you under surveillance. Why? Isn't that the question of the day? Nothing is what I thought it was.
I once told you that secrets have a cost. The truth does too.
My name is Richard Parker. I have discovered what Oscorp was going to use my research for.
What is all this?
The future. We have plans for you, Peter Parker. You wanted to be the hero.
Need a hand?
Now you gotta pay the price.
We have the power now. We can change the world.
Then let's go catch a spider.
I made a choice.
This is my path.
This is bigger than you, Peter.
I'm the only one who can stop them. I'm Spider-Man.
I gotta go.
I'm coming with you.
Come on, it's too dangerous. Sorry, I love you. Don't hang me.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer pretty much says what's happening is Spider-Man is a little older, maybe not wiser. He's made the mistake of
He grew one chin hair.
of still seeing Gwen Stacy, which was very foreboding in the last shot of The Amazing Spider-Man was one of my favorite shots ever in a superhero movie. And then that they just continued it. And so it's just him going through being the fun hero, but also making mistakes along the way.
So the reason why I love Amazing Spider-Man, the reason why is it's because I like this Peter Parker more. And in that movie, the chemistry between Peter and Gwen is so good. And it's so much fun just to be around those characters at all times. And this is no exception. In fact, it ramps it up. So like the tension between them and what they're doing is so engrossing to me, and for me builds Peter Parker as a character so well in this movie that I really didn't give a shit about Spider-Man. Honestly, like all I cared about was the fact that at this point in his life, all of his support structure, like she's everything, and he doesn't realize how much he's leaning on Aunt May, but like he feels like he's lost everyone he relies on in his life, and he can't lose her too. And of course, the whole time you're like, dude, it's coming. Like you're making these choices, and you're gonna pay the consequences for them. And watching him grow through that, like that story, is why I'm there. Electro's cool. Green Goblin's whatever. It's probably shoved in too much and whatever. I don't care. The action scenes with Electro are fucking amazing, and you can't get that anywhere else. But I care about Peter, and I care about what he's going through. And there aren't that many superhero movies that can say that.
And here's because we're going to start spoiling this movie, so I'm going to play up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a cool scene of Peter and Gwen establishing ground rules when they've broken up. And so there's establishing ground rules for them seeing each other.
You're in trouble. Who's that guy?
It was an accident in the genomics lab. They're covering it up.
That's Oscorp. This is the maintenance closet. This is the most cliched hiding place you could have chosen. This is the stupidest hiding place.
Take us to the Bahamas
Listen,
of hiding places.
Listen.
You just kissed me.
All right. How'd you like it?
I felt a little bit rushed.
I know. This is the plan. You get to the elevator, I'm gonna distract him, okay?
Oh, God! I just spilled a hot latte all over your... I didn't do that. Oh, no. And you too. Stay right there. Wait. Hey! All right, on your way. I'm sorry, I'm all thumbs today.
I really like it. Gwen, listen to me, Gwen.
Fuck you. That's the most romantic scene I've seen in years. Oh my God.
Look, man. Nobody loves the relationship between Peter and Gwen more than I do, I guess.
I disagree.
Whoa,
I do. I love that
disagree
relationship
too,
more
and
than
I'll tell you, being a huge Spider-Man fan, I was talking to my wife about this. I do like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and here's the difference: the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man plays a Spider-Man who's guilty of who he is.
Right.
He's the guy that I'm the reason my Uncle Ben's dead. I'm the reason I put Mary Jane in danger. I'm the reason my friends turn against me. The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man has those same issues, but to me, he is the Spider-Man I want to see. Mm-hmm. He's a Spider-Man, and this is my problem with the Superior Spider-Man: is if you lose the fun of who Spider-Man is, then it's not Spider-Man to me.
Yeah, it's too dramatic. It's too...
he not only enjoys what he's doing, but he also is he's that symbol of hope in a lot of ways. And he even it's part of why this movie is good. He has to realize that he's that symbol of hope for himself.
I couldn't agree more. And being a huge Spider-Man fan, you see because I know where the story's going to go.
Right.
I do. I honestly knew what was going to happen in this story. I knew she was going to die. Spoilers. I knew Gwen Stacy.
We've said it plenty of times.
Yeah, I knew Gwen Stacy was going to die.
Gwen Stacy's dead?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. To play with... I've read that book so many times, and it makes me cry. It does. Mm-hmm. Because to me, those characters mean so much to me.
Yeah. No,
and I'll be honest, too. When I saw that movie yesterday, I could not... tears were coming down my eyes because the way they played it is, and I don't feel the Green Goblin's tacked on. I really don't. I don't feel most of it.
I don't feel it
tacked
either.
on
I don't
because
I think it feels natural.
I think it's a natural progression and I don't think a lot of people understand the character of Harry Osborn because I think that movie actually nailed who Harry Osborn is. He's this spoiled brat who doesn't get his way, and when he doesn't get his way, he lashes out in an immature way, and he doesn't understand what he's doing, and the transformation
just like his father.
The transformation to the Goblin is, to me, because I think Harry Osborn's the most tragic character in Spider-Man. He's always the good guy, and he always wants to do well, but he has this inferior. What am I trying to say? He has a complex.
Inferiority
Thank
complex,
you.
yeah.
That he's never going to live up to who his father is, and he's never going to be as good as Pete.
And I agree with you in the comics. But the reason why people are going to have issues with this is, I think if they came to this movie, because I feel like we've been trained to go into comic book movies for the villains in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And if you go into this movie for that, you're going to feel like that, what you're just saying, that's not really in this movie. Like it is, but it's curt. It's not, not Kurt Connors. I mean, like it's short. Yeah. It's brief. They sort of get through all of that stuff because those villains are the impetus for the things that are happening in Peter's life.
I agree because
this is really a movie about Peter.
Yeah, and it's the choices he makes, and it is really fascinating to me because I know how Gwen Stacy dies in the comics.
Yeah.
And how they set it up in this movie, it still breaks my heart because they keep on teasing you. They're teasing you.
Yeah.
They're teasing you. And he reaches out for her, and I just how you make this movie too is he catches her and she still hits the ground and there's that thud.
Yeah.
And I've seen this movie back-to-back days, and both times people have yeah, they can't believe that he missed her. And then they made such an amazing choice, no pun intended, that after she hits, the music stops, everything stops.
Right.
It's quiet, and they let the gravity of what just happened really sink in.
Mm-hmm.
That she said it was her choice to be there.
And I think it's rough because that scene, as it was going, like, yeah, I knew what was going to happen. But as it was going, I was like, having a moment, it doesn't matter how you shoot it or what you do, having a moment where somebody dies and somebody else like basically rushes to them and picks them up and wishes they weren't dead and cries. It's just it's a tough scene to put in a movie. Like, it's just, you got to really nail it. And I think, I don't think it tugs on my heartstrings as much as it could, but that thud is rough.
Thud is haunting.
It just partially because like that she is such. This is going to sound weird, but she is such a living part of the movie. Like, she is so present and alive and active that when it happens and she goes limp, like I don't know. It's disturbing in some ways.
And too, what's cool about how the movie's written is Peter's the one who made the choice to stay with Gwen. Mm-hmm. He's going to go to England with her. She didn't drop everything to be with him, and which I think is a really cool.
But there's also plenty of stuff in there. Like, they go back and forth. They give him plenty of stuff to forgive him for it, to forgive himself for it. Because, and it's one of the things I really love about it, is that it's not this like. It's not this super like misogynistic, well, this is his choice one way or another. Like, no, she's like, no, motherfucker, I said yes. I am here for a reason. And I put myself in this situation. And as cool as that is, she still pays the consequences for it. And he does too. It might be unavoidable, but I don't know. It's just, I think they did a really good job of that part.
I didn't. Here's my problem: is that moment should have made me cry, because I had never really seen anything that impactful in a Spider-Man movie before.
But you knew it was coming, right?
That's kind of the problem.
Yep.
I knew it was coming, but that's probably my problem with a lot of the movies. I knew a lot of the movie was coming, and I mean, when watching it the second time, I was a lot more impressed the second time around than I was the first time. The second time around, I started realizing a lot more of the nuances, obviously towards the comic book, but also just towards making a better story. But I still don't feel like I feel like that moment of Gwen Stacy's death is not. It's not as strong for me because it's. How do I describe it? It's just it doesn't feel like there's. It felt too. God, this is the most difficult review I've ever had to give on Real Nerds, period.
Is it because I'll tell you, for me, the reason that it didn't make me cry is because it was hitting beats I knew were coming.
Yeah.
And even though it was... and
that's the thing, though.
But it is impossible for me to hold it against that. That's like saying that, like,
yeah, like
Schindler's List is not as good because I knew that all the Jews were going to die.
Yeah.
That's a very extreme way to go, but like they had to tell that story. And it's got to be heart-wrenching in some ways, but I don't disagree with you. It's just like...
And I could never fault the movie just on that moment alone.
Right.
Like, I have other problems with the movie just in terms of, like, timing. I thought the movie was way too long, number one. I thought that there could have at least been 20 minutes cut out of that movie.
You would cut out 20 minutes of the part I like.
Yeah, I probably. I'm not gonna lie. I really love the 15 minutes that Spider-Man's in the movie. There's to me. There's just it's that because I know that it's coming. I think I'm not as enthused about it. Mm-hmm. And part of that is that like I think that something about the Batman movies or even the X-Men movies is that they are taking from certain stories from the past, but they're not doing them directly or directly influenced per se.
Yeah.
But this one felt like it was so hell-bent on doing the death of Gwen Stacy that it would do anything to get there. That's what it felt like to me.
Okay, that's interesting.
Now, I could be completely wrong and I could be seeing it the wrong way, but that's just how it felt to me, is that it was so desperate to hit that note that it would do anything to get there. And the only other thing that I really did not like about the movie was the one thing that I was looking forward to about this movie. I really wanted Shailene
Woodley?
to play Mary Jane.
Yeah,
and
but she's cut.
I
Yeah.
thought that her moment in the movie was going to be her at the end of the movie going, face the tiger, you hit the jackpot, and then that's when the movie would end. I thought if they did that, then I would be like, fucking A, take my money.
No, I would have walked out so fucking pissed.
I'd be like, that's so fucking bold.
Yeah, because if
disagree
one
with
woman
you.
dies, you just replace that with a different woman.
See, I disagree totally with you, Zach, because
I'm not saying it's the perfect world. I thought that's what was going to happen. I'm like,
what,
dude? I'm totally on board for that bold ass
See,
move.
the death of Gwen Stacy brought tears to my eyes, but I'll be completely honest with you. Something made me cry more in that movie. And at the end, Peter is dealing with the death of Gwen Stacy, obviously.
Mhm.
And then he has a scene with Aunt May where Aunt May is hinting that she knows he's Spider-Man.
Hell yeah.
And he goes in his room and he realizes that the world needs Spider-Man. But that's not what made me cry.
Hell yeah.
He's going and the Rhino shows up
So
again.
manipulative, but it's awesome.
And the little boy comes out there.
Oh,
and like Tiananmen Square, he puts on the Spider-Man mask. And he stands up to the tank and how he stands. And to me, like I said earlier in the show, to me that's who Spider-Man is. It doesn't matter
Anybody can be
who's
Spider-Man.
under the mask. It's what does he do it's on the inside, and anybody can stand up to anybody. And to me, like, tears were like coming down my eyes because that to me epitomizes who Spider-Man is. And if you had Mary Jane show up and face it, Tiger hit the jackpot, I might have hated this movie.
Really?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The other reason it's the wrong ending is that this is a movie where he has to go from a place where he is living where he's giving everything he can to the people around him, and then realize he has to realize what Spider-Man is to him, right?
Exactly.
So like he has to lose that support structure and then gain it back. And it is in realizing what Aunt May is in that last scene, which is amazing. Man, fucking Sally Field. I really like her. I don't know if she's heard, but I really like her. She is great. And that scene followed by what you're talking about, where he sort of nuts up and is like, oh yeah, no, this shit's pretty important. It's just great.
And I don't think you can look. Ultimately, the way the movie's going to end is the way the movie was going to end. And my opinion has changed a little bit since seeing it the second time. I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but I mean, props to Mark Webb for making a Spider-Man movie that was at least interesting for my taste. Like, this was the most interesting Spider-Man movie I've ever seen because it actually hit. Because it was hitting those dramatic beats I knew I was going to hit, I felt more invested, especially with Dane DeHaan playing Harry Osborn. I totally agree with you. That is the best Harry Osborn I've ever seen, period. Like, it's perfect.
And that scene, the way he directs that sort of improv, like that scene when
they're at the
Harry,
the
stairs, which is just really, I like the way it's shot.
It's so well directed.
But like that very brotherly relationship they have, it's really natural.
Yeah, and
just
here's
really
the thing:
cool.
I'm going back and forth on it. Like, you're bringing up points why I should love this movie, but I'm still not sold.
It's tough, and I
maybe
know
a third time. Maybe I'll have to go a third time, guys.
I think I know where you're coming from because there are times, and I've had that before, where you kind of know what a movie's going to do, either because the trailers have told you everything or because you know the story up front.
I'm just
and
really
it can
angry
be
that-
tough for that movie to hit you the way you want it to.
I'm just really angry that Ryan's made me feel emotions for the first time in my life.
Brad, you haven't said anything. What were your biggest issues with it besides the Joel
Spider-Man.
part?
Are we finally done sucking this movie's cock? You gonna let me say something?
Oh, it's so
you could have
big,
jumped
though.
in at any time.
I don't like interrupting people in discussions. It started out great. It started out with the opening that we've always talked about. as being great.
I was telling Laura about
I
that
am
too.
a criminal.
But after that, apparently New York has the most inept police force because they all put all their squad cars facing one direction, chasing the villain, and then at the very end, the police are trying to shoot down the Rhino with handguns, and he has a 50 caliber machine gun.
What are they supposed to do?
Tell people to clear the streets and stop hanging around, or they're going to get shot.
Yeah,
but then we wouldn't have that kid coming out to stop him like Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
Which none of the cops tried. They stopped the mom, but they won't stop the kid.
The kid ran faster
The kid
and was
knows what
small.
he's doing.
The Rhino shot 6 rounds over that kid's head.
Yeah.
And
He didn't
then
want to
it's,
hurt the kid.
but it's about the point.
It so
is
doesn't
about the
fucking
point. He's
matter.
right.
Like,
and then stopped to give him and Spider-Man a chance to bond.
yeah.
The Rhino's just like, yeah, I got.
Don't get me
5
wrong. There's cool parts in this movie. Obviously, the Gwen Stacy moment is like the way they pull it off, like visually, is like just heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
Like because in the you're telling me in the comics like she swings over the bridge, snaps her neck, but in this thing like
He snaps
she
her
goes
fucking back.
well, he smashes the back of her head into the concrete.
Yeah. Oh God.
And then you see like the blood coming out of her nose. Like she's not quite dead when he gets to her, but she's like unconscious and she's dying in his arms. Like she's not instantly dead.
That was
She's
a
bleeding
blunt-
internally.
That is such a brutal death.
Yeah.
For a PG-13 movie.
Yeah. But yeah, like it just feels like the rest of the movie is just filler because like the whole movie is to get to that moment. Like the whole movie is make you love Peter and Gwen so much to get to that iconic moment. And meanwhile, there's Electro, which is a complete waste of a villain. Like his whole motivation is like, man, Spider-Man didn't remember me.
No, nobody will remember me.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
Yeah. He's, what were you saying?
He feels very cartoon show.
Yeah. He's the one that feels tacked on.
Yeah, out of everybody, especially Paul
Even
Giamatti.
though
Paul Giamatti is more effective as a
Paul
villain.
Giamatti, I give a pass for because he's a bookend.
Yeah.
To the movie.
I love that fucking
But
line.
Electro is made to be like the major prime villain with Harry Osborn coming in from behind.
Yeah.
But Electro Electro has cool sequences.
Yeah.
But his whole motivation and is
thematic-
so weak. His story is so
thematic
weak.
arc didn't match up with anybody else's in there.
See,
and that's what made it uneven.
You could
Like,
take him out of the movie, and the movie would still be
I would argue you could take
strong.
Max out of the movie and just have just show the dude, this dude who he fumbles into this thing and gets turned into whatever, and still have the action sequences because he's there for two reasons. He's there for the action sequences, and then he becomes like this foot soldier for Harry at the end.
Which
I feel like you
has
could,
lightning bolts on
That's
it.
my one problem. That's the one
He
thing
designed
I
his
didn't
own
like.
What
suit.
does that mean, Ryan?
He's a corny ass dude, man.
No,
he made his own birthday cake.
That's the one thing I did not like about the movie is he had lightning bolts on the side of his costume.
At least he didn't have lightning bolts on the side of his face.
But
That would have been even better.
But see, I will say this: visually, he's an amazing character. On
Yeah,
the screen.
pretty
that's
goddamn
what's
cool
so
looking.
disappointing is
Yeah.
like how the story for him is just so terribly weak.
Yeah.
If they'd given more scenes of him, if they wanted to go the route of he has this ego problem or this what is it, self?
I think it's an acceptance
perception
problem.
problem.
Insecurity. He's so insecure.
Yeah, if they had more, because he only has that one scene with the cake.
Yeah.
And then, or I guess when he meets Spider-Man, whatever, you kind of see how insecure he is. So if they'd done more stuff throughout the movie, building to that, but no, it's kind of just a real quick thing, and then he goes to Times Square, and all the
Because
Spider-Man
they want to
villain-
focus on Peter and Gwen, though.
all
That's
the
the problem with the balance there. It's a balanced movie, but it's not balanced.
and all the Spider-Man villains have this inability to reason really fast. They get really emotional really quick and don't jump back. Is really frustrating because Spider-Man goes to Harry and he's like, "Hey, I don't want to do this for you because it might hurt you," and instantly they can't see the other side of it. They're just always one-sided, and that's kind of frustrating.
But that's
you
kind
think
of the
someone as smart
characters
as
there.
Harry would be able yeah, I know this will hurt me, but it's really important to me to survive.
Well, he did say that to him, though. He said, "What's the difference? I'm already dying." So he's desperate to find a cure. And he doesn't care if he dies or not, and that's why Harry Osborn to me is such a tragic character. Is because Harry Osborn is not, in his mind, he's not a bad guy, but he makes choices that affect who he is. And I mean, he said he's like, "I don't care. I'm already dying. Why does it matter if you kill me?" And then that Spider-Man rejected him, and it sets him off.
Yeah, but as someone who's supposed to be this lifelong friend, I thought he'd be more sympathetic towards oh yeah, even when he doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man yet, to his friend Peter Parker is okay, I understand that I'm accepting that you can't just call up Spider-Man whenever you want, but I mean, could you really? I really need your help with this, But he gets really mad really fast.
Give me that blood.
So
Yeah.
it's just frustrating to watch. I just feel like it's racing through it. And obviously, because it's a 2-hour movie and they have too much to do. So, yeah. But Peter and Gwen are cute together, but I think there's too much of that in the movie.
Oh my god!
It feels like there's a longer movie that might be an even better movie than what we saw. Like it feels like there's like a good 3. It feels like there's a good a good 3-hour movie there, 3-hour and 30-minute movie there that we didn't see.
No, I think it needs to be more focused. Like if you want to do like, obviously the Peter and Gwen is most important because you want to build to the effect of the death of Gwen. Like you want people to feel like he really lost someone important to him,
right?
Which also I don't really feel like they had a strong, because like it's a lot of these moments of like they're just kind of standing around or going on a date and talking.
Oh my God!
Actually, you know what? I will disagree with you on this. The moment where they're on the top of the bridge, and he's just talking about how he's not going to be Spider-Man anymore. You're talking about moments that made you well up. I'm not going to lie, that made me well up a little bit. But as a comic book fan in general, just seeing like the hero with the dream girl up there on that little that's a good swelling image. Like I totally dug that. You know, like
them going on a date and talking is this movie. Like dialogue is what characters do to each other, and when they hold on when they first are setting ground rules. And she laughs, and he says, well, that's the first thing that's got to go. Honestly, that scene's so well written and so well acted, you could probably only have that scene and the movie would work. Like, them going on dates and talking is why I love this movie and why it's important and why it matters that she dies. Like, it's why I don't give a shit about Spider-Man in this movie, because it's really good. Oh man, no.
But I feel like their relationship should be tested more. Like in the other Spider-Man movies, Mary Jane, I think the second one, she was like an actress, and like being Spider-Man kept taking him away from like her performances and stuff. In this movie, like she's just going to Oxford, and he's like not, because he's Spider-Man. He's just like not. I don't know.
No, but in those movies, it's so much shallower than here, because here, their relationship, when they are in a relationship, is dangerous for her well-being. Like, if they're together, she is in danger, and that is so much bigger than, oh, I can't make it to the play on time, or I'm always an empty seat. Like, those scenes in those movies are really adorable and touching, but the reason why those movies have to rely on the villain is because they can't rely on that, because being an empty seat and like not being there for her play is really shallow by comparison to if I love you, you die.
No, that's the theme in all the movies. Like ladies, like if he's around people he loves, like they're always in danger. But
right, but they're never going to die,
examples.
And here they die. Like that's the thing. The stakes here are really high by comparison, because in those movies we know they're not. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
My favorite part of this podcast is James is fighting my fight for me.
Because this movie's
the one thing we haven't touched on,
and I was terrified of this movie going in. I was really afraid.
Is really cool is the visual effects of this movie are amazing.
I'm actually not going to lie. These
are the
most deserving of an Oscar.
The CGI of Spider-Man in the van or whatever collecting the things, like.
Oh yeah,
like
an armored van.
No, you're right. Yeah,
that was weak.
Paul Giamatti at the end is a little bit.
Yeah, and Paul Giamatti floating.
Yeah,
in
but
dude, the Electro looks good.
And the scenes where Spider-Man's like web swinging,
they look good.
I mean, I saw it in 3D IMAX, and it literally felt like you were dropping from the building. And there's also his spider sense in here is so freaking cool.
Yeah,
when when Electro shoots that car. That police car at the people running up
and
the
it
stairs. Extends up, and he's like thinking in slow motion on how he's going to save them.
Yeah. That was really cool.
As a Spider-Man fan, it's what I love, and I love that they don't make it like really cheesy. The thing that interrupts his date with Gwen Stacy is all of a sudden he's talking. He realizes that something's not right. To me, that's a spider sense, and
I feel like it's a thing that they've never been able to do in the last movies. Like there's something I don't even know what it is. I don't think it's the sound. It's got to be something in the way he moves the camera, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, or maybe it's just
the way
Garfield
Raimi does
pull
it
it off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, there's some
which is fine, but
not
it just
good
feels
parts
more obvious
in the special effects.
Yeah,
but the part where he's swinging through the city and he's like contorting his body and using his webbing as slingshots is Yeah, there's some little hiccups here and there, but I mean, I've never seen something look like that. And
I didn't
that
even
cool.
see hiccups in the visual effects at all. The visual effects were amazing in this movie. That was the amazing thing about the Amazing Spider-Man to me was the visual effects. Those were incredible. That looked like a comic book. That looked amazing. That final scene at the power grid or the abandoned power company, the abandoned electric company, looked incredible.
I mean, it's that Incredible Hulk thing for me, where when everything's CG, it all looks not real.
But
it's still really good.
But it works
Like-
for Spider-Man or Hulk because they are. Look, for all intents and purposes, none of us can flex or bend like a spider guy. So
No, I don't disagree, but in the same way that it doesn't work for Incredible Hulk, where it is that
Well,
as
also we
cool,
didn't
as,
have a
cool
gun.
as the action scene with Electro is, I don't feel the stakes that well because it all looks fake.
I just remember one other like tiny detail that I did like was Electro's theme.
Yeah.
Musically.
It was the thing I wanted to end on at the end because like
Laura
you
hated
see
the
how.
music.
Oh my God! No, it's so good.
I hate the songs like when Peter's like
Yeah.
thinking.
No, the score's good.
Oh yeah, which Hans Zimmer didn't do the last one, right?
No.
Yeah,
James Horner did, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's somebody else on this one too. Hans
Pharrell
Zimmer
Williams.
and yeah.
The Magnificent Six.
Yeah.
No. Is that all?
Oh, Pharrell
was
Williams.
it really just
Sinister Six?
Yeah.
That would make sense though, because that's part of what's really cool about it is the way
It doesn't sound like any other superhero movie.
No, well, and the way that he like turns Electro into music.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cool. Like it's one of those things that Mark Webb is really good at because he came out of music videos and stuff like that, and I don't know. I think he's good at music in movies. Even the like poppy music he works in, like I like some of that stuff, so I'm cool with it. But the way that he, oh man, when Electro's bouncing around at the different things and it's actually making a song, and at first you're like, oh, that's cool. Is that really the score? And then Spider-Man like comments on the fact that it's making a song. You're like, oh snap! Like that's like happening. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. Yeah, I totally agree.
That's the only thing you liked about the movie was the music.
I told you I like the opening.
You said the one thing I will like about the movie. It's fine. The
next one needs to have Shocker at the beginning.
That'd be sweet.
Right.
I'll find something negative to add to it. Let's his I guess another like thing that was thrown on there, but it's not a thing thrown on there because it's an extension of the last movie. Is him like figuring out like what his dad's role
was? That's the one scene I think that because they didn't put it in the first one, they felt like they had to make up for.
Yeah.
But I did like the opening of like his parents on the plane and stuff. I thought was really cool.
Dude, Richard Parker's a badass.
Yeah, but
the fact that he has a subway car,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
secret
that's-
lair.
Yeah. That seems very exposition.
Is this now? That is not canon. From my knowledge, I don't remember.
It's canon. His parents were set up as well. It was in the '60s, and they were set up as
But not the subway train.
No.
That's what I.
Now Roosevelt is either real or a real urban legend. Like that train.
Right, but I was
Roosevelt
like,
having
that's
special
not.
trains.
But they did the subway train. I'm like, that's
Well,
not
if they
part
did
of-
like
that's
did in
not
the
part of
comics,
Spider-Man.
then the Red Skull set up the Parkers, and that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
The Red Skull
Oh,
shows
dude.
up.
How did you go? We can come out. I've already done Parker.
Goodbye,
awesome.
Mr. Parker.
And then and then your favorite comic book movie and then my favorite comic book movie could combine.
And then Cap shows up with the Falcon.
Hey guys, what's up? Let's go catch a spider guy. Throws his shield.
So does Harry like adjust to being the Green Goblin? That's why he looks okay at the end.
No, what they're doing, I mean, they're changing a little bit, but in the comics, Harry always struggled with being the bad guy. He never wanted to be the bad guy. His friendship with Peter always would trump his being a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean visually, like
they're going with a mutated Goblin
Yeah.
version where like he
can control how he looks.
Not necessarily
No,
control.
That's more of like an Ultimate Spider-Man thing. In Ultimate Spider-Man, it's basically the same thing. When he shoot himself with a Oz formula, he would turn into the Goblin. So in this one, I guess the Spider Venom is kind of the Oz formula for him.
So the Spider Venom just wears off eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's the dude with like the bowler hat?
That's the only thing I don't know. It's
I
some
heard
characters.
his name.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
Mr. Fears.
Mr. Fierce.
Mr.
It was Fears. It wasn't Pierce.
No, it was Fears. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it
what
was
it's
Fierce.
No, it's
shit.
in the credits. It's Fiers.
what's his name? B.J. Novak. Oh my God,
Alistair Smythe.
Smythe. Yes, Smythe is in this movie. I
Twice.
almost jumped out of my seat.
Yeah. So
Walking into an
so is
elevator.
Felicia Hardy.
And yeah.
Well, you know, that's they're setting up other stuff, but if you're a nerd, it's like, oh, cool, Alistair Smythe, cool, Felicia Hardy.
I know.
They also make a really unusual reference. I can't remember who it is, but there's a really off-colored reference that only nerds got, and now I can't remember.
My favorite moment in the movie out of anything in this movie was when he's sending a photo to J. Jonah Jameson, and then the reply in the email is wrong.
The fact I don't know why they don't just get J.K. Simmons back.
Yeah.
Like we all know, like the audience is smart.
We
Like,
get it. This is a reboot, but
yeah,
please bring him
it's
back.
a reboot, but there's no one better than him.
Bring
Like,
me
just
Spider-Man.
go get J.K. Simmons already.
I imagine that J.K. Simmons, when he's not around the public eye, is J. Jonah Jameson in his
Right,
real
yeah.
life. He
Yeah.
gets out of the bathroom. Where's Spider-Man?
He actually wears a wig in every other movie because his actual hair looks like that slicked back silver hair.
No,
With
but
a brick-
I mean,
with
he
the
has
top.
one of my favorite character moments ever in Spider-Man 2 is
Where he's like mourning the
and
mourning
he's like,
Spider-Man, and he goes,
and
"A thief, a
yeah.
public menace."
And he's the only one who could save him. Yeah, I got it. He's a thief, a menace. I freaking love it.
I want
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
He's just perfect. Like that piece of casting.
Oh God. Whoever plays him in the third one, because they got to bring him in the third one.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons. I'm gonna write a letter.
It's either that or it's
It'll just
John,
say,
it's John Malkovich.
"Yo, dog, we get
It's
it."
gonna be John
J.K.
Malkovich.
Simmons.
Huh, so maybe the longest review of a movie ever in Real Nerds history.
Yeah, it was wild.
Spider-Man
fun.
brings out the passion.
Well, there's so much going on in the movie.
There is. I never really felt it was like that crowded. I think they laid the groundwork for so much stuff, and they let the movie breathe. I think it was fine.
Yeah,
but-
nothing about it feels bad, but there's things that do feel bad.
It's just
I don't
whether or
know,
not it
it's-
plays for you. Yeah.
It's just like it's one or the other. You're gonna either have one opinion or the other.
Yeah, it's not that I don't see where there are places that people could struggle with it. I just think they're wrong.
Don't worry.
But
No,
I do,
I'm just
like I
kidding.
said, I did-
Everybody's got their opinion.
When I watched it and I saw that Giamatti was at the beginning and then he came back at the end, I'm like, that's what I've always wanted in a superhero
Right?
movie.
Right? It was so cool.
Is for a villain to show up, just be cast aside, and
Yeah, and then they just come back.
because
Even if they don't,
he
like,
got
just to
that
start
part
with
because
a-
he was talking. I think it was on Conan about how he always loved the Rhino.
Yeah.
and they gave him that part because of it. So
Oh boy, did they give him a part.
Yeah.
So
Again,
I wonder if he's. I don't think he's going to be in the next one. Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't care. That was the best line in a comic book movie ever.
I'm
I'm
a
a criminal.
So good.
I'm going to put that on a T-shirt.
That's the thing. I actually really adore sort of the cartoonish sense of humor that it
Yeah.
had from time to time.
And I like that they're
like
bringing it back.
Yeah, like the moment in the truck where he's catching all the vials and stuff. Like, it was really silly and took me by surprise that it was there. But I was like,
That's a Spider-Man from when we were younger.
yeah, exactly.
I think
It
the silliest
rang-
part in that movie is where's Spider-Man, and then they show him he has a fireman's hat on, and he's using
Yeah.
a hose.
Oh, my
He's
God.
like,
Yes,
thanks, Big John.
exactly. Like he feels almost
That
slightly
reminded
out
me
of
of-
reality.
That reminded me of Fun Spider-Man. That's
Yeah.
why he's
Yeah.
the best. This is the best Spider-Man because he's the one who actually makes quips.
So you just got all the way from I didn't like it to this is the best Spider-man. I'm just saying.
He
I
is the best Spider-Man.
okay.
This
All right.
is
All
not
right.
the
Sure,
best
sure.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
If you really want to talk about the best Spider-Man movie, it's probably Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's for me. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Um,
it's hard to beat.
I mean,
it's a great
you know,
movie.
I even like Spider-Man 1, and I like The Amazing Spider-Man more than I like this one. Like the first one with Garfield, I
tighter.
like a little bit more. I think I just like the interaction with Risa Fons and Garfield a little bit more. But, who knows? I may need to see it again, but I will say it is not as shitty as I thought it was going to be. So
Wow. Well, thanks, Zach.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
And
really am.
Brad's-
I'm trying to be a spider guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to catch bad guys just like flies.
You should.
Okay.
Cool.
What's
next week we're seeing Neighbors with
Oh, cool.
Seth Rogen and Zac Efron.
Do you realize that Godzilla's only 2 weeks away?
Wow.
Shit.
But,
Yeah.
by the way, does
Alex said
anybody mind? Do we bring on Spencer Kane for Godzilla? He is a Godzilla fanatic. This is the only thing I've been able to get him fanboyish about.
Are
I
we
kind
already
of promised Alex Rhodes that he and his boys could come on that week.
Oh,
But
then,
who's-
then,
who's-
then it's
who's-
Alex
but-
Rhodes.
but they-
Who's Alex Rhodes?
Huh?
Who's Alex
Brody?
Rhodes?
The Parody Rises guy?
Yeah, I know
okay.
him. He's a good guy. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I did meet
He's
him.
been trying to get on for like a while, and he usually cancels. So
Then put him on, man.
Spencer might still have a chance. So we'll see.
I'm just still gonna push it, but yeah. Do you mind if I plug really quickly before we get? out?
Absolutely. God damn it.
Fuck you, people.
We're almost
I
at
have
2
to.
hours, Zach.
You're not
It's
doing
my
anything
choice.
cool.
Fuck.
If I don't, I'm not doing my job.
When are
go
we coming
check
on
out
Local Brew?
Local Brew?
When are we coming
Local
on?
Brew,
I
you'll
don't
be
care about
hearing
the
some
show. When are we coming on?
Actually, wait till we're done recording. I gotta schedule you guys. For Local Brew, we're gonna be hearing some stuff in late June as to what's going on with that. For 2 years since Friday, go check out my Facebook page or Tony's Facebook page, Tony Gross, TonyGrosz. Yeah, stay tuned and listen to this show. I guess this particular one with Ryan and James and Brad. I think your name is.
Sure, why not?
Perfect.
Cool.
So yeah.
Sweet. Until next time, my spider sense is tingling. Thank you, James, for sticking up for Spider-Man for
Fuck
me.
yeah, man.
These two guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
He's goddamn good.
Yeah.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find him on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.